It's so difficult to enter farming at the commodity production level, at the scale. It's so capital intensive, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars tied up. You have it almost is necessary to enter into an existing farm, whether it's through your own family or marrying into a farm or working for an existing farm. Very few very capable, ambitious young people are able to start with rented ground and build up, but there are so many more opportunities in the world today to avoid that commodity mentality and try to take a more focused approach on marketing what a consumer wants rather than just what you can unload at an elevator. If you can produce a unique product, a grass-fed beef or a whole white wheat flour, there are some unique marketing niches that make it possible to enter farming, I think. It takes a love of the land to want to be here and doing this kind of work, and it takes a strong work ethic to want to put in the kinds of hours that are needed, particularly at planting and harvest time. Finding somebody that wants to be here and do that kind of work is proven to be a real challenge.
It bothers me to know that children in school, clear on up to adults, have no idea how food is produced. One of the activities that I've been associated with for most of the years that I've been here is called Ag in the Classroom, in which different people go into the classes in the grade school and the high school and try to teach those children about agriculture and where the food really comes from. But still, there are in towns, even in this area, to say nothing of Kansas cities and New York cities and so forth, have no idea how food is produced. And unfortunately, the media doesn't help us much. We care for our animals. We live with our animals, and it really bothers me then to have people say that we shouldn't be eating meat or we shouldn't be farming the ground because that's not natural or whatever. But if they know that the people like us, and particularly with this new generation I have, who are really taking care of their animals and taking care of the land, and those folks are what keeps this country going in providing good food for the nation. And I am really dismayed that there isn't a regular avenue that everybody understands where food does come from.
We're so fortunate to live in a time that people don't think about where their food came from. You know, there's a generation of folks my mom's age who were immediately involved with producing food to prevent starvation. The Marshall Plan in Europe to get food to people who were literally starving. That's not something that very many people are aware of today, that food can become just simply not available. The hunger that there is today is a distribution problem. It's not an availability problem. We are so productive in agriculture that we've been so reliable, we've put ourselves out of conscious awareness of folks. And folks don't have an appreciation, I don't think, of how fundamentally important we are, both societally and culturally and economically. To have a reliable food supply has got to be the most fundamentally important thing that a society can do, because without that, you can't sustain any kind of a society.
One of the things that has always bothered me, even back in the 40s and when I was growing up on a farm, was that my dad was just a farmer. And it's even more true now that just a farmer is a real misnomer, because the farmer has to be a chemist, they have to be a scientist, they have to have knowledge of soil structures and of plants and what plants can do for the ground or can do to hurt the ground. They have to take care of the water, so they have to have an education in groundwater and the rivers and that sort of thing. They have to be a mechanic. They just have to be every part of the society, and their lives are not segregated into a 9-to-5 job, and to be just a farmer is kind of an insult, because the farmers have to be very well educated, and they have to really know what kind of fertilizer to put on the ground, what kind of soils that they have to raise the crops that will do the best for the ground as well as for their economy.
We put a lot of work into preserving into producing a high quality crop and to preserving its identity so that we can pass that on to our customers. Commodity production is focused only on producing more quantity at lower cost. It's all dumped into one bin, whether it's good or bad. It's all one pile when it's done. We're producing specific varieties of wheat on clean ground with particular production practices aimed at producing the best quality we can for our customers.